Welcome to Deeply Rooted, a web series on mindset. My name is Tony Wisdom, aka Tony Game. I've spent over 20 years in the music business as a producer, engineer, label owner, and executive. This show is dedicated to changing the narrative on success. I reached out to the most successful people I know. I want to know what drives them, their greatest mistakes, their best advice, their secrets to success, and how all of that has shaped who they are today. Take a journey with us. There we are. Deeply Rooted, Season 5, Episode 6. I don't really know what to do with these lights. I'm still figuring it out. We have a guy that's going to come on and help me with production in next season. So, like I was telling Ingrid, we're just going to go mysterious today and go from there. So this next guest is another one of my awesome Clubhouse friends, people that I met on Clubhouse. She co-moderates an awesome room called Path to Paid. They go really early. They go 4:55 a.m. Central. So I always try to jump in and catch that when I can. Sorry, I'm trying to. And Ingrid, you know, I just was thinking, and I'll ask you when I bring you on. I have no idea how to pronounce your last name. Like, I don't think I've ever heard it spoken, you know. But Ingrid is a mother, caregiver, energy practitioner, aspiring author, and a hairapist, which I love that. So without further ado, I will bring on the lovely Ingrid. How are you?
I'm so good. Nobody ever knows how to say my last name.
So let me try. Vogt.
Yes. Tony, you're the first one. Like graduations and everything, they'd always butcher my name. Yeah. That's perfect. Vote. Yes.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Ingrid, I definitely thank you for taking your time out to do this with me on your Sunday. I know you're an awesome mother, and you know the weekends are important, so I definitely appreciate you. So could you briefly just tell me who Ingrid is professionally, or you know what your background is?
Yes. So the hairapist has been that's been the longest journey for me. I've been doing hair for over 20 years. And I incorporate a lot of energy work with my hair. So that's where the hairapist comes in. And it's like an ongoing joke, right? Like you sit down to get a haircut and it's like, you know, $45 for the haircut, $150 for the therapy session, you know? So it's kind of like, that's the joke. So, but yeah, that caregiving, taking care of my family, mother, that's how I live my life.
Okay. So who is Ingrid the person?
That's a great question. So, wow, way to just dive right in there. Okay, let's do this. Ingrid the person. So really seriously, I think of myself as like a multi-dimensional being here to have a human experience. So I'm here to gain as much knowledge as I can in the time that I get to be here. So that's me.
I love it. And now, is that the same Ingrid you would have told me you were at 18?
No. Oh, 18-year-old Ingrid was wild and carefree and didn't think about consequences. Yes, she was a very courageous girl. Feisty. She was a feisty girl.
And so was there something, was it kids? Was there something that made you change? Or like, I know we all have this moment. Not everyone has this aha moment, but we all have something that pushes us, right?
Yeah, I would say, you know, I've always lived a really colorful life. Like, that's, yeah, colorful. I'll say colorful, safe. Yeah, I've lived a very colorful life. I didn't, like I said, didn't think about consequences, so that you, as you can imagine, you can find yourself in some very um precarious situations. So yeah, the driving point for me was my marriage had ended and I found myself alone in a horrible situation in Las Vegas by myself in an abusive relationship. And I just was abusing drugs and checking out completely mentally, emotionally, physically. And I thought, this can't happen. Once I found out I was pregnant, that was it. I made the decision and I literally haven't looked back. Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know what led me to ask that question. I just felt like there was, there was something. There
Yeah.
was a
Oh,
boost,
yeah.
right? And
There's something.
well, I honor you, one, for like, being able to just say, you know what, that's it, I'm done. And,
Yeah.
commit to your family. Because for some people, that takes a lot more, and kids aren't enough, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I had tried to have children and I couldn't. I was very unsuccessful.
Mm.
So the fact that my marriage ends, I find myself in this horrible situation, and now I finally have this child that I have been hoping and praying for 10 years. It's like, under no circumstances is this going to be taken away from me. So
Yeah.
I'm going to fight for this. So that was it. I made the decision, and I literally have been just charging forward ever since.
I love it. So, how do you define success?
Oh, success. So for me, success is like, it's a collaboration, it's not a competition.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I'm trying to change the world. I'm trying to make the world a better place. I'm trying to impact people so that they can heal themselves. And I can't do that by myself. So we need as much collaboration as humanly possible so that we can come together and make a change and genuinely make a positive impact, because I just feel like we need this now more than ever.
Yeah, and one thing I like about Path to Paid is the diversity.
Yeah.
Not like racially, but like culturally,
Yeah.
right? Like people come from so many different backgrounds, but it's all for a common purpose
Mhm.
of growth. And I just think it's really awesome. Every time I come in there, it just makes me smile that you're so committed to it and engaged, and so I really honor you for that.
Yeah, we love our Path to Paid peeps. We have such a great community. And everybody is just, it's, I mean, Clubhouse is an interesting space. Social media is a very interesting space, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to come across really genuinely authentic, safe environments. I mean, safe is, I mean, I use that loosely. It's as safe as it can be. But, we really cultivate a space where you can discuss things openly and there's just no judgment.
You do. And I was talking to AJ about it, and because we were just talking about the um giving unconditionally rooms, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, man, there is literally only one other room that I will go into. Like, I've tried other rooms,
Yeah.
and I mean, I don't know if you've ever went into like any of the music rooms or anything. There's like 90 people on stage, 20 people talking at once. Everybody's just being nasty and hateful. And it's like,
Yeah.
it goes to just choices. Like, we have choices and what we put into our world, right? And you could
Mhm.
spend all day long on Clubhouse and be in all the wrong rooms and, do worse for yourself. Or you could be in a room like Path to Paid, giving unconditionally, and literally grow and change the trajectory of your life, but it all boils down to choices at the end of the day,
Mhm.
right? So, what drives you, Ingrid? What's your why?
Well, the why changes constantly. But right now my big driving force is my family. I feel like that's a pretty, that's a fairly common, probably a common response, but it really is. I mean, I've got 2 kids, they both have some special needs, and cultivating, experiences for them, and therapies, and just, I mean, there's occupational therapy, there's speech therapy, there's, I mean, you name it, we're doing it. And it's just this one big adventure that we get to do together. And
Mhm.
it is just, I don't know, I get to show up for these little people, and it's so much fun, and I'm just so glad I get to do it.
Well, I have to point out that 3 times you said I get to, right?
Yeah.
And I love that, right? Because that's just a mindset thing. It goes back to choices, right?
Yeah.
Like some people, well, I have to go to therapy, I have to, and you've turned it into a get to, which completely changes the experience for you
Yeah.
and your kids, right? So I love that. You're so awesome. Can you think of a major setback in your life that set you up for later success?
You know what? So, okay. So we have a lot of like neurodiversities in my family. So I have ADHD, and I'm just like, it's cool. Like, I'm an adult now. It's kind of like it's my superpower.
Mhm.
But it wasn't growing up. It got me in so much trouble. Like elementary school and high school, just trouble, right? Like I wasn't a good student. Um, but now, oh my god, it's literally my superpower, because like the things that I'm interested is like what my children need. So I was like, I can hyper focus on these classes and learn these therapies and go and do all these things and like retain the information like that, because I'm just so involved and like curious. And yeah, it's really exciting. I really, like, am the perfect parent for these kids. Like, we have so much fun together. Yeah.
And I can feel that. I can feel it from right here. Like I want to go play with you guys.
Yeah, it is. It's playtime all the time.
And so what you're saying essentially is the ADHD, which for a lot of people could be seen as a major setback, because I mean, especially in extreme cases, that can be hard to function with, right?
Well, and I mean, baby boomer generation, right? They were not like, let's figure out what's going on. Like that wasn't the generation that did that, right? So,
Yeah.
my parents did the absolute best that they could, but the reality is they just didn't know. They didn't know how to
Yeah.
deal with me. They didn't know how to handle me, so it's kind of like, okay, I'll figure it out myself. So, um, I mean, I did eventually, and then once I figured out how I learn, oh my god, game changer. So, you know, um having those tools, like, literally, like, my toolbox, it is, like, it's it's very established, which is so good, because as a byproduct of that, I learned all these tools for myself, which turn around, it's the same therapies that my kids need. So I
Mm.
already knew how to do this stuff, and then they just get that, like, consistency everywhere they go. It's like they go to therapy, boom, it's there. They come home, boom, it's here. They go to school, boom, it's there. Like, no matter where they go, they're just set up for success.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I love your outlook on it. And I was the same way in school, right? Like it was very hard to keep me focused and keep my attention. But then later in life, after 20 years in the music business, I decided to go back to school, right?
Mm.
And my entire curriculum was online. And that just worked really well for me, right? Like I knew at the beginning of the week, this is what my week looks like. This is what I have to do. This is my homework. And like I just got it done. And I was able to succeed. And my experience in school was completely different. And
Yeah.
that was powerful for me because like you said, I learned how I learned.
Yeah.
And that just kind of catapulted me into all kinds of different learning.
Right. And that's the thing too, right? Like, I started to like, I knew that I had the ability to focus. I knew that I had the ability to focus better than anybody else.
Mhm.
It needed to be something that I was interested in.
Yeah.
So then I thought, well, how can I break this down so at least I can adapt and focus when I don't want to focus? So then I figured out like oral stimulation, having some like gum to chew on, something like that, or like, something to fidget in my fingers, like that was enough to get me through that I could focus my attention and then work at the task at hand. But it's just like finding those strategies, right?
Mhm. Yeah. I love it. So maybe this ties in this next question. What is one of the best or most worthwhile investments you've ever made? It could be an investment of money, time, energy.
Um, Honestly, the best investment I ever made is in like my healing and in that healing journey.
Mm.
I invested in therapy. I got a really good therapist. I invested in like my spiritual path and learning healing modalities and just getting some training. I learned how to, manage my energy, how to set boundaries. A big one for me was emotional regulation. I needed to get those kinds of things worked out. Yeah, those were, yeah, that's it. That's definitely my investing in my spiritual growth and my healing journey is by far the best investment I made. Yeah.
I love it. So, how do you define love?
Ooh, I mean, I'm love. I just am love, right? Like it just oozes from my pores. It's in everything that I do. It's it's in like how I feel. I dress how I feel that day and I light up when I see people. Like I just am love. I'm love. It's me.
I love that. And because forget a definition, be the example, be it, right? Like
Yes, be
so.
the love.
And I hear that like when you're in Clubhouse, right? And you'll notice like maybe it's me. You and Wanja both do this. Maybe it's me or maybe it's somebody else. You'll be like, "Oh, it's Tony," or and it's just this small little moment of love. So I love that answer.
Totally.
um, what act of kindness were you once shown that you will never forget?
This is my favorite. So, man, I love acts of kindness. That's my currency. So, my daughter was really young and busy baby. And so I what it's like trying to get out of the house with kids. It's 20 minutes, right?
Mhm.
Like you got car seats and diaper bag. It's like, oh God, just trying to go to the grocery store you need 4 hours. So I got all that stuff. I got into the car. I got to the grocery store. I did the shopping. I had the cart. We're there. I mean, I put it all on the thing. She's got her little situation going, and I'm just like, get me out of here, right? So I get her calmed down and we get everything bagged, and I go to pay, and my wallet is not in my purse.
Oh.
My daughter took it out. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, my wallet is not in my purse. And I'm like mortified, right? The gentleman behind me paid for all of my groceries.
Wow.
Like I had a full cart of it was like $200, Tony. He was like, it's fine. And I was like, what's happening? And he was like, just if you're in a situation next time and you can do the same thing, do the same thing. And it took like 7 years, but I was able to pay it forward. I found myself in the exact same situation. And I was like, let me buy your groceries. And the woman was like, oh my, I can't. And I was like, no. And I shared with her what had happened to me. And I said, now you get to just pass it on. Isn't this great? She was
Mhm.
just like the best ever.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's why I asked this question because honestly, I just like hearing stories like that. Like,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
really do. Like, so that's awesome, and it sticks with you. that's what I really like is like how it sticks with people. And sometimes it'll be the smallest random thing. They'll be like, somebody held a door for me, or, I was having a bad day. And,
Hmm.
and that's really, AJ and Anil say it all the time, but, the secret to living is giving, right?
Yeah,
And, because in that moment, you know, he was able to give, feel significant in the world, feel like he's, doing something good within himself, and like you could have denied him that gift. And we do
yeah,
that a lot. We do that a lot, right?
yeah,
I'm terrible at that, at like receiving, right? But when you do that, you deny them, the ability to give you a gift, and the secret to living is giving.
totally. And it's
So,
like, what a gift to learn how to receive, right?
mm,
Yeah. Because then your capacity to give expands too.
yeah,
It's magic. That's magic.
I agree. Okay, Ingrid. So, in the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life?
Oof. Hands down, my daily rituals.
Mm,
Yeah. So, like, my morning routine, my meditation, my journaling, my spiritual practices, my like physical energy work, my conversations with God, those things genuinely. Yeah.
Have you read the 5 a.m. Club?
No.
Okay, so the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, right?
Okay.
It is amazing read, and I like him as an author because it's not. He likes to frame it in storytelling versus just talking at you,
Oh, I love that.
and it's a really good story, but it's really just about the power of your morning routine.
Mm,
um and I've read it twice, just this year. I read it at the end
I
of the
love
year
that.
because I want to install that morning routine for myself,
Yeah.
which I've been getting up at 5. I get, I'm
Mhm.
up early. It's just kind of the other thing, right? Like taking the time to meditate, taking the time to drink celery juice or worry about my health, taking the time to just unplug and let there be silence and just kind of be for a little bit,
Yeah.
all of that. So, yeah, I highly suggest that book.
Okay. I'm going to check this out.
Um, what advice would you give to a kid about to enter the real world?
Oh, don't listen to the limiting beliefs that you or anybody else puts on yourself,
Mm,
and quiet your mind, learn how to meditate and learn how to breathe properly. I think I think we don't really breathe properly. And I think if we were actually like intentional with our breath and we didn't necessarily rush responses and things like that, if we just took more time to be, um, yeah, I would just encourage them to respond, don't react, be
mm.
still, calm, lots of breath work, meditation. Yeah.
What advice should they ignore?
Oof. That you should just stick with what you know.
Mm, I love that. And for me, like, that resonates so deeply because like there was a running joke when I was married, right? There was a running joke for about 6 or 7 years. Every Christmas I'm into something different, right?
Yeah.
So one year it was frisbee golf, one year it was fishing, one year it was bowling, one year I was on a Bob Ross kick, right? And
Yeah.
so my family every year would get me what, like, all the things I need for whatever I'm into, and it would like give them the most joy. But I'm truly like that. Like I am into anything that piques my interest, and you never know where that's going to lead you.
Um,
You know, the people you meet, so that's great advice for someone coming out here is, see everything that you can see, find all the experiences that you can find. So great advice, Ingrid. Um, so our mantra here at Deeply Rooted is kill the ego,
oof,
ignite the soul. What does that mean to you?
gosh, so you said this to me a while ago,
Hmm.
and I put it on a Post-it note, and it's right by my door, like the door that I let the dog out 10,000 times a day. So I look at that 10,000 times a day. And what always comes to my mind is which wolf are you going to feed?
Mm.
And it is such a great reminder because now I'm like, oh, every time I let the dog out, I'm like, ooh,
Mm.
which wolf have I been feeding today? You know? And it's helped me tremendously because there are days when I don't realize that I'm feeding the wrong wolf. And it's a it's like a gentle reminder to like check yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think of which wolf are you feeding?
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that perspective. And for those that don't catch that reference, there's an old story, old folk tale, of a grandfather or a father teaching his son that we all have two wolves within us, right? I don't remember what the wolves exactly are, but in this case, they're going to be ego and soul, right? Your
Right.
mind and your heart. And, the one that wins is the one that you feed, right?
Right.
So, love it. Okay. So we all have this moment in our journeys when
Mhm.
we are at our lowest, so to speak, when we
Mm.
want to call it quits. When you reached that point in your journey, how did you fight through?
Okay. So I was pregnant with my daughter at the time, and um just my whole world had crashed, right? And I had made that decision. So I had reunited with my family, but I had so much trauma and so much damage. And my pregnancy was rough with my daughter. And I had to spend a lot of time in bed, which just kind of gets things stewing. And honestly, I found myself, I would watch The Secret over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I would just drill those words into my brain. And I started I made it like tunnel vision. So my social media, that's when I really started dedicating my social media to like my mental health.
Mm.
So I only posted things that were like approved for me to see. So when I wanted to go on social, I could at least go to my page and have pre-approved content that I could scroll through and read things that would be beneficial to me, relevant to what I'm doing, and not derail my progress.
Mm. I love that. And there's a couple things I love about that. One, the secret was how I was exposed to the law of attraction. Like that was the
Mm,
first time I ever learned of that concept. And it really was a big shift for me. Oh wow, like holy shit, like my mind, is has the power and I can change things with just how I think. Like that was really big. And I know you've heard me tell my shooting story several times, but like the law of attraction and the knowledge of the law of attraction probably saved my life
yep.
just because I knew to stay calm, to be positive,
Mm.
don't draw my death, right? Don't
Right, right.
like seriously. And the friend that gave me that movie, he was trying to give it to me for probably months. Like, and he's one of these guys that I love him to death, and he teaches me so much, but he's always talking. And like to tell me about the secret, he probably spent 8 hours of talking over months. Like, well, Tony, you got to do this and you got to watch this. And eventually I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch it. Okay.
Yeah.
Just even shut the hell up. Right.
Yeah.
And, but that's kind of how the universe has been with me. I needed kicks in the ass, many
Yeah.
times. And then what you said about, creating your own experience on social media, that is what Deeply Rooted is on Facebook, right?
Mm.
I share about 3 or 4 quotes a day, and I only share things that resonate with me, that is something that I'm learning a lesson from this. So
Yeah.
every morning, it takes me a while because not every quote I feel, I might have felt it yesterday, but today it's not sitting with me. So I don't just pick them randomly, but I've created a place online or on Facebook that is what I want to see, right?
Mhm.
And it's so nice because I can just scroll. I can go back months ago and see. It's almost like a journal. It's like I go, okay, I remember when I was thinking like that, or so I love it. And this is one of my favorite questions. Um, if you could have a gigantic billboard that the entire world would see,
Okay.
what would it say and why?
Oh, see, this is hard. 2 things come to mind. Speak what you seek until you see what you said,
Mm,
or when people show you who they are, believe them. Those 2 things have impact. Those 2 things have stuck with me for a very long time.
what was the first one again?
Speak what you seek until you see what you said.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And so why those two?
Well, I mean, speak what you seek until you see what you said is really about creation for me, right? So, um, I mean, manifestation, if you're manifesting things that aren't in alignment, you're going to know quite quickly, right? So, speak what you seek until you see what you said. So, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. Your words are very powerful. Magic is spoken. So, yep, speak what you seek until you see what you said. And then, when people show you who they are, believe them. That is just, we have a tendency to wear masks, and I'm a firm believer that when you meet people, you get 15 seconds, you get like a little glimpse. They show you who they really are, and it's very quick, and you have to pay attention. So if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, but it's there. So be watching.
I love that too. This is your answers are really like I'm learning, right? And not that I don't learn every week, but like there's a commonality that shows up, right? For most of us, especially high achievers, right? Like there's a lot of common things that we do, common ways that we look at the world. But like you're giving a little twist to all of those, right?
Yeah.
So and that's what makes you Ingrid. That's what's awesome. If you could give a gift to every person in the world, just one gift to every single person in the world, what would it be?
One gift?
Mhm.
Oh God, that's hard. Laughter,
Mhm.
peace. Oh God, we need peace. Peace would be nice.
Yeah.
Joy. I think we need a lot of love. Love? Any of those? All those? Can we put all those in a box? Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Or maybe just emotional
Yeah.
strength.
Strength. Yes. Strength to yes, handle what life throws at you. Oh, that's a good one. Because I don't want to make things light and fluffy because there's no fun in that. I mean, really, we learn our lessons when we stumble and fall. So appreciate the struggle because that's where the growth is. But yeah. Oh, yeah. I like that, Tony. The strength to handle whatever comes your way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. We just did it. We just healed the world. We just got to figure out how to give it to everyone.
That's right.
So this one is, my it's always, I have to throw this in because of my music background, and music
Mhm.
is such a big part of my life, and it's something I know you guys do frequently on Path to Paid.
Mm.
Um, but is there a song that you would consider the soundtrack to your life, or a song that you turn to for strength?
Okay, so soundtrack, Gold Track Woman, Fleetwood Mac. Gold Dust Woman, yeah, Gold Dust Woman.
So you're gonna sing like the chorus for us or something?
No, oh my god. Well, it would it would be it's not good. Not good.
I was totally kidding.
Could you imagine? Like, hang on one second. No, no, I'm not. No way.
Oh, and then what was the other one or did you say another one? You did.
No, just Gold Dust,
Okay,
just
there it
Gold
is.
Dust Woman, yeah.
I love
Fleetwood
it.
Mac. Check it out, Tony.
Oh, my mother was a huge Fleetwood Mac fan, so I'm sure as soon as I hear, I'm like a big jukebox. Like as soon as I hear it, I probably know half the
Oh, yeah.
lyrics to it anyway.
Once
So
you hear it, you'll be like, "Oh, yeah, that's Ingrid's song for sure."
So, well, Ingrid, this has been awesome. It really has. My last question is there anything that me or my viewers can do to support you?
Ooh. Check us out on Clubhouse, 5:55 Eastern Standard Time, Path to Paid. PAID is an acronym for Purposeful Actions Invested Daily. So we really are genuinely, committed to just building a supportive community where we can all just have like-minded conversations and grow and just experience this thing that we call life because it's an experience.
Yeah. And you guys have a magazine coming?
We do. So that'll be coming out end of the month. And that's going to be like a monthly thing. So we're really looking forward to that. But
Is
yeah,
it
digital
physical?
currency.
Is
Hmm?
it physical or digital?
Digital, yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I'm big on digital currency. I love sharing stuff. Um, my Instagram is Reverence Warrior. You can follow me on there. But yeah, just come and enjoy the conversations and I mean, hopefully you learn something, right? Growing is nice, right?
yeah. I remember my my day after UPW, and I was in that
Yes.
room. It was such a fun day. I was just walking around all all over town, stopping in front of this place, stopping at the park, doing the jump on the little exercise bike.
It
So
was so nice to be, like, the receiving side of that because like, we could feel your energy, and then, like, the phone was messing up and, like, it kept interfering, and, like, you'd have to go to, like, a different Wi-Fi hotspot, and then, like, you'd go and you'd be like, "Oh, I'm over here now at this crazy place," and then you were at the beach, and we did this amazing three-way, meditation prayer. That was insane. That was
yeah,
so good.
yeah,
I think that was the first time you ever did that with us.
yeah. It was.
Yeah.
It
Like,
was
what a
awesome.
great experience.
It really was, especially after what I had just went through. I had never experienced anything like Tony Robbins. Like
No.
that was insane,
Yeah.
and my energy was through the roof. And
It was
we weren't
incredible.
doing our room, so I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming in past the pain." And
Yeah, it was
so,
so good. We were so happy to see you too. And I had spoke to, like, a couple of like, I had talked to Mimi and, I had sent her a couple of messages. We were kind of chatting, and I was like, "Oh, I hope you guys are having such a good time." And Joelle, it was just so nice to see everybody and all your pictures and stuff. I was like, man, this is incredible. And then like to hear everybody's like walking the coals and
yeah.
like an experience, a full blown
Well, let
like
me tell you
life
about that.
changing experience.
Here's what's funny. Every morning while I was there, I'm from Kansas, right, which is in the middle of the country. So if I get anywhere near the ocean, I have to go,
Yeah.
right? And my Airbnb was probably it was like a 5 minute drive, but maybe a 20-minute walk to the ocean. So every morning I got up because I'm already up at 5 in the morning anyway. And if I'm on the East Coast, I'm up at 4 in the morning.
Mm.
So I would get up and go to the beach just to watch the sunrise and kind of have my moment before
Mhm.
the day started. And the first day I'm there and I wasn't thinking, I have on sneakers, I'm walking all in this sand. So I'm really trying to not get my feet wet. And I did great. I'm walking back and like somebody had a sprinkler in their yard and it was broken and there was a puddle on the sidewalk and I stepped into the puddle. Okay. So now I have to walk like, 20 minutes to get to where I'm going. And because my socks were wet, by the time I got there, I got a blister on my foot. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're there, and it's like 8, 10 hours of jumping up and down. And like, so my feet were over it. And I had this blister. Well, we're walking on fire. I'm like, oh. Okay. So we go and we do that. And the fire gives me a blister on my other foot. Okay. So I've been up since 4 in the morning. It's 1:30. My feet are tired. I'm tired. I go out to the front of the venue to get an Uber, and it was surge pricing. So I'm like, great. So I'm like, I'm gonna walk a couple blocks, and maybe I'll be out of the area, and the surge pricing won't be so high. 'Cause it was like 5 times the price. My phone died. So I knew how to get back to my Airbnb because it was a straight shot and then a turn at McDonald's, right? But it took me an hour and a half to walk with blisters on each feet. I just walked on 12,000-degree cold.
No doubt. No doubt.
And I had to walk home. But, I was like, I sat there and I was like, after everything I just went through today, like, I would be, who would I be to like complain? How can I complain? Just get
Yeah.
to where you're going. Like, this is a test, So,
Right?
no,
Yeah.
so that was a great experience.
It's
Uh, uh,
amazing.
so, Ingrid, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
You are so awesome. This has been fun for me, and it's great
Yeah.
to see you. Like I always hear you. It's great to see you.
I know it's like it's so different when you're because I mean, we just see like the little pictures, right? And
Mhm.
then now it's like, okay, you get like I'm very like, I don't know. I have a lot of energy. So it's now you can see the energy.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I can't thank you enough. I'll let you get back to your Sunday with your beautiful family.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You are
Have a
awesome.
great
Any
day.
parting words?
I love you. Be kind. Make sure that you take your self care very seriously. And it's not selfish, it's selfless, right? That's what AG says. It's not selfish, it's selfless.
Absolutely.
And the more you can receive means the more you can give.
Love it. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, that was awesome. I love this show. I have so much fun doing this. Thank you for tuning in. Um, I'm not very good at the whole self promotion thing. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we have a website, we have merch, we're on Facebook, we have a podcast, we're all over the place. So tune in when you can. I hope you learned something. Love you guys. Kill the ego, ignite the soul. Peace.